This is insane. Karl-Anthony Towns has responded to Draymond Green after Draymond Green's disgusting comments about Karl-Anthony Towns and his family and all of the noise surrounding that. While we are going to break all this down after Draymond Green called out Karl-Anthony Towns for missing a game to be with his girlfriend during a personal matter. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're enjoying the channel and you're part of that 68% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. We're on that road to 14K. We're on that grind right now. We're making multiple videos every day. We're back. You guys do not want to miss out. I promise you, while the season comes down to an end, we're having a ton of fun on this channel. But let's jump into it. We have a lot to discuss. Draymond Green and Karl-Anthony Towns have been tied together in the news recently as Draymond Green called out Karl-Anthony Towns for missing a game against the Golden State Warriors with personal issues. Now, personal issues are something that could vary a lot, and Karl-Anthony Towns, just to put it pretty bluntly, because I don't really think you should talk about this that much, is Karl-Anthony Towns missed the game to be with his girlfriend Jordan Woods after she lost someone very close due to cancer. And, well, Towns is doing what any partner would do, which is be with them and take the day off of work, which for him happens to be playing center for the New York Knicks. And Draymond Green decided it would be the perfect time to call Karl-Anthony Towns out on his podcast, with Green saying, "Some would say Towns didn't play because Jimmy Butler was in the building. And they say Cat didn't play because Jimmy came into town. I don't know what was hurt. I didn't look that deep into it to figure out his injury was or nothing like that." Let me make something very clear. In the NBA, the team that you're on in the locker room, they have the opposing team's injury report. They know who's injured. They know why they're injured. It would have taken Draymond Green 4 seconds to figure out why Karl-Anthony Towns was missing the game. And here's the thing. Personal reasons, as I said, could vary a lot from something like that, what I already talked about, to having a child, to something a lot less major. And, well, the thought is, if someone's out due to personal reasons, err on the side of caution and maybe don't be calling people out and saying they're afraid to play against a former teammate who they had a scuffle with. Maybe don't do that is my thought process on all of it. But Draymond Green did think differently, and Draymond likes to be polarizing. It's who he is as a person. He's always been this way, and sometimes it feels like it's not as serious as other times, and then other times Draymond Green just likes to actively be chaos. That's just who he is as a person, and sometimes it's likable, and sometimes he does really stupid things like this. Now, Draymond definitely, there's no way that he could have meant anything bad by this. He did not know. It was just stupid of him to make the joke. And when he was told, he obviously apologized and said that he was sorry to Karl, right? Right? Well, as Draymond then said after being informed of what happened, "Oh man, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that." Not a bad start. "That sucks." This is what he told reporters after the game when he was told why Towns missed the game, and then said, "But my comments that I made, was that what I heard at this time? And that's what I heard. So do I send my well wishes to him and his family? We all experience death in one way or another, and we'll all experience it in the same way one day." Very morbid. "So it's unfortunate. You never wish that on anybody, but the Draymond Green show with Baron Davis must go on." No, it doesn't. "I definitely wish them well and wish their family well. You know, we all go through that, and it's never easy for anyone, but the Draymond Green show with Baron Davis will go on." Oh, it must go on. Okay. The Draymond Green show with Baron Davis must go on after making fun of somebody and saying that they didn't want to play against their former teammate because they got in a fight. Obviously, there was that infinite. Are we serious right now? Infamous practice that Butler called out Karl-Anthony Towns and then beat him in a game with basically the third stringers, and it was a huge moment, and Jimmy then yelled to the team, "Y'all need me, y'all can't win without me," and then obviously that was basically the end of Jimmy Butler's time in Minnesota. Towns and Butler now both moved on, Butler being on the Golden State Warriors, just continuing to flip through teams pretty frequently throughout his NBA career ever since leaving the Bulls. And Karl-Anthony Towns is on his second team with the New York Knicks, where he's been fully beloved. Now, that's not to say that Jimmy Butler was not loved in Miami for a while, but obviously he ended things really poorly. He burnt the bridge, as he's done before. And, well, Karl-Anthony Towns then responded to Draymond Green, saying, the problems that have arisen in my life and stuff, I know that if people were in my shoes, they'd be extremely joyful to have the problems that I have. So just stay focused, and it's made me a better man. With my mom, I utilized that experience when it came to this one because losing a mom is tough. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns, in case you didn't know, did lose his mom to COVID a couple of years back. His dad also got it seriously, but did recover, which is a massive relief, obviously. So it's something that Towns has been through. Towns has not had the easiest life. He's very close with his family, lost around 7 family members due to COVID, and you just would never wish that on anyone. And Draymond Green's right, you wouldn't. But also maybe instead of saying, oh, the Draymond Green show must go on, just be like, oh, wow, that was really stupid of me. I'm sorry, Karl. You did not deserve to hear that from anyone. None of your family deserved that. I should have looked. I should have been more careful. That's on me. I apologize. That's all I had to say. And everyone would have been fine with it, and we would have moved on, and no one would have ever cared again. And we just move forward with our lives, thinking, oh, well, Draymond Green made a stupid mistake. I mean, every single person on the planet, as long as you've been on the planet long enough, doesn't matter how old you are, you've said something stupid, you've done something stupid that you've regretted. It's just life. It's how it happens. It's how we go about things. But Draymond Green doing this and then seemingly showing zero signs of remorse at the same time and just saying, yeah, death sucks. How does he think that's okay? Like, I don't understand where he thinks that's okay to have that type of response. Like, it's not even about being some showman and doing, like, everything that Draymond Green does. It's just so weird of him. It's just such strange behavior. And, well, Draymond's also, the whole point was that Karl didn't want to play against Jimmy Butler. Karl-Anthony Towns has been better against Jimmy Butler than Jimmy Butler's been against Towns since they both stopped being teammates in Minnesota. Now, The Athletic talked about this, mentioning that Towns has not ducked Butler once since he was traded. His teams have faced Butler's 14 times since the Wolves sent Butler to Philly. Towns missed 2 of those games, each one because of legitimate injuries that caused him to miss long stretches of games. The last time Towns' team faced Butler's game came on October 30th of this season when the Knicks were in Miami to take on the Heat, and Towns had 44 points and 13 rebounds in a Knicks win, his 4th or 5th Knicks game ever. His team record against Butler's teams since the trade is 9-5. Towns has missed due to 2 injuries. One that kept him out for 11 games, the other one that kept him out for a good 3 months. And Draymond Green does not know any of this because Draymond Green is not doing any research on the subject and is just saying stuff with Baron Davis on the podcast. Look, I'm going to be honest. I don't know one person who's ever watched the Draymond Green podcast. I mean, who cares? Like, oh, Draymond said something. You're not JJ Redick, Draymond Green. No one's listening to your podcast while you're playing. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not someone who watched a ton of NBA podcasts ever. I did like The Old Man, The Three. I've watched a few episodes of Patrick Beverley's because it's kind of funny. Never really tuned into Draymond Green's ever, because I didn't care what Draymond Green had to say, because it's stuff like this. It's shock value stuff that Draymond Green likes to do. He's just trying to be this shock value guy because that's what made him famous 9 years ago, and it's kept him mainly famous. It's also helpful that his teammate is Steph Curry, as if Draymond Green was somewhere that wasn't the Golden State Warriors, he probably would have never even gotten off the ground, because his entire career basically began because of a David Lee injury, shout out David Lee, in the NBA playoffs the year the Warriors ended up winning the finals. Now, when the Knicks played the Golden State Warriors last, they did lose, and not having Karl-Anthony Towns is a big reason because of it. Obviously, the Warriors scored well, and by the Warriors, I mean Steph Curry played really well and just did Steph Curry things as per usual in MSG. Steph likes to show up in MSG. Even when he was injured, he was playing really well. In the New York Knicks, they struggled to shoot the ball, only shooting around 24% from 3, something that was a direct impact of not having Karl-Anthony Towns. Mikal Bridges couldn't hit a shot. Jalen Brunson's three-point shooting was off. Josh Hart's three-point shooting was 0 for 4. Mitchell Robinson's taken 4 jump shots in his career. And then OG Anunoby was 4 for 9. He was the only one who really showed up from behind the arc all game. I mean, Cameron Payne went 1 for 3, but going 1 for 3 isn't really like, whoa. First of all, it's still only 33%, but on top of that, it's 1 for 3, so it's only so much. But with the way the Knicks worked, obviously they just lost this game to the Warriors. The Warriors went on a run, and things just went poorly for the Knicks, and then Draymond got on his podcast to talk trash about Karl-Anthony Towns missing the game, despite the fact that Towns has literally never missed a game against Jimmy Butler unless he was injured, and that's still the case up until the fact that he decided that some things are more important than basketball, so he decided to, miss a game. Karl-Anthony Towns is an objectively good human being. Everything about Towns screams that he's just a likable guy. He's a fun-loving person. You see him on the court, he's usually smiling. He's usually enjoying his life as an NBA player. And look, there's times where people are like, oh, Karl-Anthony Towns is soft. No, he is not. You could see moments where he's getting down and dirty with anyone. He's not afraid of contact whatsoever, and he's gone fully at people before. I mean, the fight with Joel Embiid, when Jimmy Butler was playing him and Jimmy Butler was calling him soft, and Karl-Anthony Towns' response was, go call Rachel, being Rachel Nichols, who Jimmy Butler might be friends with, we'll put it. This is a PG channel, guys. At least Knicks Happy Hour is a little less so, but this is PG. But you guys all can kind of catch my drift there. So, Karl-Anthony Towns is not afraid of the smoke, and he just denied Draymond Green's comments outside of just what he said because Towns didn't care. It doesn't affect him because he's strong-minded, and what matters is his family, and he's always been this way. He has a very tight family. He's always mentioned that his family's a huge part of things. It's one of the reasons why he's very happy in New York, because his family is from the New York area, living in Jersey. So there's a lot to really just understand that Towns is not going to make much of Draymond Green's comments. But the Knicks do play the Golden State Warriors in 6 days on Saturday, March 15th, or in 5 days on Saturday, March 15th. I'm super excited to watch because I imagine Towns will be there and be healthy, hopefully. Now, Towns on this season is averaging 24 points per game with 13.3 rebounds and 3.1 assists, while getting 1 steal per game as well, shooting 42% from 3 and 52% from the field. He's been one of the best players in basketball this season. Meanwhile, Draymond Green is doing Draymond Green things as per usual, putting up 9 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, being a very vocal guy, getting 1 block and 1.3 steals per game, shooting 33% from the three-point range, which is around his career average, and 43% from the field. He's not a scorer, but he does other things well. He's a good defender. But I would love to see Draymond Green try to guard Karl-Anthony Towns in the upcoming game. I imagine that despite the fact that Towns probably won't make much of these comments, that he would absolutely love to face off against Draymond Green and absolutely cook him in Draymond's own house. And I really, really hope we get to see that. But guys, I do want to know what you guys think of all this. Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.